Alright guys, we are out here in the garden and you seen the thumbnail. Yes, garden is finally planted. Everything's planted. So we're going to walk through just like I did last time. I'm going to start on the farthest end and work my way this way. And I will show you everything we have planted. And we have a few more things to finish up before the garden is actually 100% complete. But we're working on it. So let's go check it out. Okay, so we are going to start back here in the furthest part of the garden. So here's the chickens. Start back here in the back. Here are my perennial flowers, medicinal kind of thing. Butterfly bush, bleeding heart, echinacea, which is actually fixing to start blooming. And then we've got digitalis and lavender. I haven't put anything else out here as of yet. Just kind of letting them do their thing this year, and then we'll figure out something a little bit different later. Next door is some broccoli. Now you will see, starting to see some bare spots. Yes, they are starting to get ready. These are really looking pretty, and we have eaten a lot. Now this one right here, it was only this one leaf right here. It kind of got topped and it left that little nub right there. So we were like, well, we'll just leave it here, you know, and go ahead and let it see what it's actually going to do. And it like put off all these shoots, and we're not really sure what we're going to do, but we may just cut these off and eat them like kale. And just kind of use them as greens instead of letting them actually grow out. But you see here, we've got some broccoli heads that are actually ready. And a lot of them aren't getting very big just because it got so hot real fast. And we're just trying not to let them bolt. So there's the last few there. And then here is our goldenrod. This is just here, of course, you know, medicinally, but I put it in a pot. So maybe we can just kind of keep it in this area. Although we do have a big patch right there I seen the other day. I do have some here just for color in the garden. Now right next door to the broccoli is actually, I planted some zucchini seeds the other day because we cannot find zucchini plants already started. So I just had to start some. So I don't see them up as of yet. I planted them like 2 days ago, but I have 6 zucchini. Excuse me. I have 6 zucchini plants, seeds already in the ground, and we'll see what happens with those. Okay, so we are going over here to the right side. This is what I'm calling my berry patch or my fruit patch or whatever. We've got some blackberries here, and you see we might actually get a few this year. We have some that's blooming. So we'll get a few to eat. I'm not really looking for getting any blackberries this year. These are actually next year's stalk, because these right here would have been this year's stalk, but in the move I cut them back so much that they actually didn't produce. So these are next year's stalk, and a lot of them just, you know, kind of seem to want to be overachievers this year. So I've got blackberries planted down through here, and in between them are rhubarb. Now the rhubarb will eventually be shaded, so they won't be looking all hot and sad in the midday. So that's what's going on here. That one is an overachiever too. It's got all kinds of sprouts coming off of it. So that is this row. And then right next door, that's one lone blackberry plant. I'm probably actually going to move it and put something else there. Because I have 3 blackberries. Yeah, 3 blackberries over here. That one, and then one behind me that did not end up taking. And so I'm going to probably move that guy over just to fill in these spots over here. And then right next down by the blackberry is the raspberry row. Now you'll see about every 4 feet or so is a good raspberry, and in between them it looks like they're dying. So yes, I went to my dad's and I got more raspberry plants, and they kind of stroked out on me. But as you'll see, they are putting back out. So I'm not getting rid of these as of yet. The roots were good. And you'll see that they are actually putting on new growth. So these will be for next year's plants. But that's what our raspberries look like this year. And really this is just going to be a maintenance year just to get everything going. So on this row here I've got the white grape and the red grape. Those have been taken off good. If you remember last time they were just sticks. So they have actually put on about 6 inches of leaf growth. So that's a lot better there. Next bed we've got strawberries and 3 raspberry plants. So in between the raspberries we have strawberry plants. They're not putting out this year. It's already too hot for all of that. And the blueberries are probably not going to put on. I do have a few that look like they are trying to produce a little bit, but we'll actually see what they do a little bit later. Got a few there, and it may just be a handful this year that we end up getting, but I'm not expecting to get a whole lot this year. This is mainly for next year's production. All right, so one new addition down here we just moved is my milkweed. Now we had it at the other house and it kind of took over the soil. So what I did was I just dug up as much of those roots as I could and just put it in a pot, and then it's come back, so it's doing its own thing there. Milkweed is a root runner, so it spreads roots kind of like mint and grows everywhere. So it's going to be contained in this barrel here. Now, so that is the berry patch, the fruit patch back here. Let's move over to where we are starting to do our vegetables. They're coming to say hi, guys. These are our chicks that were in the house, if believe it or not. When we were back doing our lives, these were the chicks that were making all the noise in the background. And they actually started laying last week. So we have been excited. I think we've got 6 out of the 9 whites laying. We got 6 eggs yesterday. And then 1 of the calico princesses are laying. So we have been excited to see what goodies they are starting to bring us. So right next to them, we actually have 3 broccoli over here. 1, 2, 3. And I'll be getting them this week. Yep, so I'll be getting them this week. They'll be about done. They're about the size of a softball now. And I went ahead and planted, you'll see right here, that little bitty plant is actually a crimson red watermelon. I put 1 there, 1 right there, and I think that one down there died. I put 1 like right there. They were kind of young. I do have more up at the house. I'm letting them get older, but I wanted to see what these are going to do. And I also, yes, I put them underneath the grapes as well. I put some watermelon right here. I did like 6 underneath those grapes just to kind of fill in that area while the grapes are still growing. The bed is useless this year, and it's just an area for the grapes to cover. So I put watermelon down there this year. So we'll see how these watermelon do. If not, I'll have more plants up there. I actually got them from Steven's mom. She threw a watermelon out in her flower bed, and she had like 30 plants come up. So we got the seeds. We got the plants. So she dug them up and brought them to us. And so I'm kind of sporadically sticking them in just to kind of be a filler this year. And then these right here are white Russian kale. I have already harvested this down to hardly nothing twice. And it's been about once a week good cut back. And then they just keep growing. That's what they do. It's the cut and come again kind of thing. You cut them and they just keep growing out of center, and they'll do that until it just gets too hot. Right next door to them, you'll see this is kind of looking a little bad, but this is my green bean bed. I will have to put up pictures as I walk down through here of which ones are which. And you see the second patch, because you see it's kind of broken up in little sections, and I did that because I did different varieties. I believe these are I'm not even gonna lie, I'm gonna put a picture up. So here's the first bed, and I will put a picture up of what's planted. Here's the second bed, and this is what's planted in it. I also went ahead and reseeded this patch with another harvester pack. Here's the third bed, and that is what I planted there. Here's the fourth bed, and this is a long bed because I had a lot of these seeds, and that is what I planted there. And then on the end down here, this is the last bed, and you'll see there, that is what I planted. So down here, this little section here, I do have a few that are coming up. And over here in this bed, these are yellow wax beans, I believe. They're not the Cherokee kind, but they're a different yellow green bean basically. And so these are kind of coming up kind of sparsely. Now I did not buy new seeds this year. I was trying to use up what I have, and so with that comes the risk of the germination rate being lower. So that's what's happening here. Is these were probably over a year old, probably 2 years old, and they're just kind of sporadically coming up. But I put in kind of heavy 3 rows here just to use up all those seeds. I probably had 60 seeds, and we will see what happens with those. So next door here, these have not, I don't see any signs of them coming up yet. I only planted this bed about 3 days ago. So half of this bed, so right here this way, and then right there where that piece of wood is this way. These 2 sections are a top crop pink-eyed pea. It's like a black-eyed pea, but it's pink-eyed. That's what we prefer. They're less strong as the black-eyed peas. So these 2 sections here, I have no clue. I put in like 3 rows each, planted about 6 inches apart. So a couple hundred seeds are right here. And then down here on this end, from this piece of wood right here down, this is, I want to say probably 3 rows, boom, 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 3 rows, about 4 to 6 inches a piece. These are sweet corn bantams. These are only going to get about 4 feet tall. They're not going to get real tall like the big commercial ones or like the ones we usually grow. These are only going to get about 4 feet tall. So we have corn here. This is 3 rows, probably 10 or 12 feet long. I think I counted about 80 seeds that I planted there. And then right next door, I just noticed, because I haven't been out here this weekend, I have some corn coming up. Now this row, about halfway, I think I see something down there as well. But this is peaches and cream corn. And I did 3 rows as well here. So with corn, to get the best germination rate, you want at least 3 rows by 5 foot long to get good germination. So these are probably 10 or 12 feet long, and I did the rows about 6 inches apart, the seeds about 6 inches apart, and then I will show you how we are going to support them. Since they are in this gin trash bed, it's still composting. They're not in the ground per se this year. So I will show you how we're going to support them, because it's really windy around here, and we do this every year with our corn. We're actually going to tie them up and support them, but I'll bring you back when we do that. So having this row and this row, at least, 5 to 6 feet apart, these 2 are actually going to probably cross germinate, but that's okay, because I'm not going to save the seeds, but they will make sure that they do get pollinated from the wind and all of that stuff. So moving on down, right here, there's kind of like an empty spot. I can see where I haven't disturbed the cotton in it, but I put in 14 okra plants, seeds. I see here that one, oh, there it is. Okay, I have one already coming up. Oh, there's another one. There's one right there. Okay, so between that one and that one, I planted these about 24 inches apart, so about 2 feet apart. These are going in kind of thick because, again, I want them to be supported. There's another one. There's another one. And what I did was I zigzagged them. So they are going to help each other in the wind. And what I mean by zigzag, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I went down 14 seeds down about halfway. So that way we can, instead of walking under them like the other house, we walked under them like trees because they got so big. Here we can walk on each side, and then they will support themselves and help hold each other up in the wind. So I'm excited to see how the corn and the okra is going to do this year. Everything seems to be coming up. Some of the older seeds are kind of sparse, but that's okay. So that's that half of the garden. Now let's work on the other half. So this half over here, we're going to start up front next to the chickens. My little nosy rosies here. And we're going to start with the tomatoes up here. We did go ahead and put the trellises up. You see that? We didn't video that, but we threw those up the other night before it rained. And excuse the kids, they're watering the dogs. Oh look guys, I've got a mint coming up. That's some kind of mint. That's crazy. But I've got big beef here, and I need to go ahead and get them tied up. All of these are big beef plants. And you'll see I've got several tomatoes already coming on. This one is my biggest. Several tomatoes. I got to come out here and get these all tied up as well. I've got the little clips that we're going to clip on here. And we are going to be fighting new problems this year. I can already tell because I've already got some little visitors here. And I do have ladybugs here, so I'm going to try to let it naturally deter itself, you know, with the ladybugs and the aphids and all that. I'm going to try to let them do their thing, but if it becomes a problem, then I'll have to step in. I don't have any neem oil or anything like that, but I do have DE that I could use. My favorite, of course, is going to be 7 Dust. I'm not going to lie. All right, so over here, I had a friend. Her name is Brandy. Hey, Brandy. These are your basil that you gave me. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. The other one I put on the other end of this bed. So I've got my basil on the ends. This right here, these 2 are my sun sugars. They've reached the cattle panel. They have tomatoes on them as well. And then down here are the yellow pears, and they are already starting to produce as well. The yellow pears, I got to get them tied up pretty soon. They're already touching the cattle panel. All right, right behind them, these are early girls that I got from my dad. So 1 and 2, 2 early girls here. And this one is 1 of 2 sun sugars. Looky here, guys. That's my first tomato. Oh, it's soft. Let's go ahead and get it. That's our first tomato. I've been waiting for it. So these are sun sugars. All right, and then next door are the Tammy G's. These are grape tomatoes. And they have some that they're putting on too. Right behind them are the Cherokee Purples. I've got to get them tied up as well. I got to get busy out here, guys. So I've got 3 Cherokee Purples, and then we run into our Romas. Now these, believe it or not, these plants right here, these 3 or 4, are the ones that the leaves got eaten off of by some kind of something out here. I never seen it, and it stopped. Once I 7 dust them real good, they stopped, and they never attacked any of the other plants. But yeah, these are the 4 plants that were eaten up, and they have already started growing back, so they recovered really well. Oh, I actually have one. Look. I actually have one. Nice. Right behind them are 4 yellow squashes. So we've got 4 yellow squashes there. And I just fertilized them, so they'll get their color back pretty soon. They just got a little hot on them. They stroked out a little bit, but that's okay. Lots of female flowers down in there that's starting to bud. And I say female flowers because female flowers come on first to attract the bees. And then the male flowers come on, and the male flowers come first to attract the bees. The female is what produces the fruit. Those come on secondly. So they attract the bees first to the male flowers, and then the female flowers come on, and the bees are there to pollinate the female flowers, and then they produce the fruit. So that's how that works. So whenever you start having a whole bunch of flowers on your squash and there's no fruit, those are male flowers, and they're just there to attract the bees, to say, hey, come back and pollinate us. And then once usually a couple of weeks after the male flowers produce, then you'll start seeing the female flowers and the fruit at the bottom of the female flowers. So males are just there to attract the attention, and then the females will produce. And then right beside them are 2 plants I got from my dad that are mammoth jalapenos. And I've already got one there that's blooming. Right there. And then I've got one there. So those are producing, or they're making flowers. We'll see if they produce. I stuck another one over here. These are actually black-eyed Susans. Oh, and she's opened up. I didn't see her yesterday. She's actually opened up. These I found in my Dollar Tree stackable planters. They actually reseeded from the soil that they were planted in the raised bed at the old house. So whenever we moved the dirt that it was in that bed, I put them, obviously, yeah, I showed you guys whenever we moved that I put a lot of that dirt in the stackable Dollar Tree towers, and they reseeded. So I found those in those planters up there, and I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and put them out here. So hopefully those will keep reseeding there, and that'll be their new home. So right beside the tomatoes, this is where we are actually putting up trellises today. We're going to do that this afternoon, so I'm going to go ahead. So the next garden tour you see, we're going to have trellises here, but I'll tell you what I've got planted so far. These three right here are patty pan squash, as well as these three, and my one struggling right there. I don't know that's going to make it. So I'll have at least 5. I think that poor baby right there is going to, it's going to die on me, but that's okay. I still have these 3 and these 2. They are going on one trellis by themselves. Right next door, I have bitter melon, 3 bitter melon here, 3 bitter melon here, and these are medicinal. Of course, they're bitter melon, so it's an acquired taste to eat them, which we may try, but these are actually going to be medicinal. And then right next door, which you can't really tell right now, there's one right there. I planted these by seed. These are the tromboncinos. And I have that green one, yeah, the green one right there. They're still coming up, but I have 2 on the right and 2 on the left. These are going to be trellised as well. I'm probably going to run out of trellis room with them, but that's okay. These are the tromboncinos. They are going on their own cattle panel as well. So over here, on the last 2 beds, we have 3 Black Beauty burpless cucumbers here, 3 cucumbers here. They will go on their own trellis. Right next to them, these are smaller. These are cucamelons, or the sour Mexican gherkins. I have 5 on this side and 6 on this side. They will get their own cattle panel. And at the end, I only have 2. I have one over here and one over here because I have one of the short 40-inch cattle panels, and I only ended up having 2 plants. These are butternut squash, and so they're getting the short panel, and they'll just have their own trellis as well. So like I told you guys in the last garden tour, you'll have to imagine the cattle panels right now, because obviously they're not up, but you'll be able to walk down this row here and walk down this row here underneath cattle panels. So after tonight, those will be up, so you'll see them in the next garden tour. So the only thing left right behind us is the mint and the kitchen beds. So here is our kitchen herb bed. We've got this oregano, that oregano, sage that I got from my friend Brandy again. I got these 3 rosemaries from Emma's school when they had their plant sale. That sage I brought with me. The oregano, the oregano I brought with me. The thyme I brought with me. And this is actually a flower that my mom grows. She said, I think it's red. I don't know the name. Mom, if you happen to see this, put it on there. Put it in the comments or tell me. And I will go ahead and put that in the video. But that's a flower that she gave me. Right there is one lone zucchini. Now, the story for the zucchini. It's not that I ran out of beds. God knows I ain't gonna run out of beds. But when I was over there putting those zucchini seeds in that bare bed over there by the chickens, I saw one of those brown, what are they called? I want to say pupas. That may not be right. The thing with zucchini plants is if you ever have vine borers, what happens is they will, they'll attack your plants from the inside of the vine and work their way up, and they will, they'll kill your plant. And whenever they are done, whenever they're done for the season, they will actually go back in the ground and form this like chrysalis kind of capsule that is brown and crunchy in the dirt, and they will actually stay there for up to 3 years. They'll come out every year and go back in. So they will do this for a round of 3 seasons. And that's one reason why we started growing the tromboncinos, because tromboncinos are vine borer resistant, and we purposely planted them at our last house for that reason. We put them in the vine borer infested bed and they did not touch them. And so the reason being, over there in that bed over there beside the chickens where I planted the zucchini seeds, I actually had this zucchini plant already up from just a couple that I threw in just some little cups up there at the house. It actually come up. When I planted those seeds over there, I saw a brown chrysalis and I was like, oh heck no. So I put him over here, because if you plant all of your vegetables together that have the same attackers, like if you plant all of your cabbages together, if you plant all of your broccolis together, if you do something like that and have those infestations of certain bugs that attack those plants, they can attack all of them. But if you separate them up and plant them in different areas of the garden, the bugs have a harder time of trying to find the plants. So I put one zucchini over here just in case, and all of my other zucchini are over there. So that's the story of the one lone zucchini plant in my kitchen bed. Right behind it, here's the mint bed. And I call it a mint bed. This is mostly mints. Or in the mint family. This is lavender. This is pineapple sage. There's one of those flowers again. I actually found this catnip over by my potatoes. It was in the dirt again, that we dug out of the raised beds. That dirt we put on the potatoes, and this popped up. So I transplanted this over here last week, and it's already come back really well. This is peppermint, and then that is lemon balm. So I brought this one and that one, I believe, with me. Pineapple sage I bought, lavender I bought, catnip, of course, it reseeded itself. So the last thing I have to show you guys is the side bed over here, and it's doing really well. These things are doing fabulous. These are the Texas sweet onions that I got from Dixondale, and a couple of trees that want to grow in here, I guess. Try to go through and pull everything out as I see it. But yeah, here is the sweet Texas. Let's see here. It's the Texas Super Sweets. That's what I ordered from Dixondale Farms this year, since I wasn't able to seed my own. And they are doing really well, guys. They're bulbing up. Super good. They are doing super good. So I've got this bed here. I've got a small walkway right here just to get through there and pull up anything I see coming up. And then I've got this bed here. And then I've got another small walkway here. And right here, this line right here are garlic. Just the blue bag of garlic from Walmart. That's what those are. We'll see how those do this year. And then right behind them, there's a little patch right here. And I think the potatoes are laying on the other ones. But I put the rest of the baby onions that after I planted these, I had a bunch of little ones left. I stuck them in a water jar, got them a little bit bigger. So these are those, and they are doing really good. Now right behind them, you'll see my potatoes. Let me explain if you didn't see my last garden tour. These are potatoes that I cheated myself that I bought from the grocery store. Those are seed potatoes. These are like the store-bought. I want to say they're Yukon Golds, but I don't want to tell you wrong. They're just the yellow flash that you can buy at Walmart. And then these are Yukon Gold seed potatoes. Now they have actually started blooming. There's a bloom. There's one over there. Once these bloom and then die back, they will be ready for harvesting. And since it's so hot out here, this is my most shady spot. And right up under here, I have 4, they're like that purple romaine lettuce. I have 4 up under there, so they don't get too hot. They are doing super good. I got those from my dad. He had somebody bring him a bunch of plants. So see, they are doing really good. I think they're loving the shade underneath here, which is the whole purpose of why I plant things the way I do sometimes, to shade other things out. But here's the potatoes, and they are doing really well. Hello, mamas. These are our rescue hens. If anybody's new, welcome. First of all, welcome. But these are our rescue hens that we got from a Kentucky hen house where these girls laid eggs for a year. Somebody bought them up, and then we went and bought them from them and gave them a new home. So now they are here and laying eggs for us. That is all of the raised row beds. Now you'll see, I'll show you real quick. We are still working on getting all the mulch down. I did get another free load of wood chips. I spotted my neighbor getting her tree cut down. It was actually 5 trees, and they brought me a load. They was actually supposed to bring me another load, but I don't know if they forgot or if they just didn't have enough to bring me or whatever. But I got another load of wood chips dropped in the driveway. And so we have been working on getting some more of the wood chips laid down. So we only have the last few beds and then this section right here to finish out. And then we'll actually have all of the walkways completed, and the garden will be 100% completed once we get the trellises up this afternoon. Okay, so if y'all are wondering about the dogs, let me show you the dogs real quick. Hi girls. This one's Bella, this one's Pepper. We're still training them, so they are still on tie-outs. And then there's my mama dog, that's Bobo. Hey, sweet Bobo. Say hi. Are you a YouTube puppy? And say hi. Say, oh, she's scared of the camera. She's not used to the camera. Hi, baby. And she actually has a new GPS collar that we've been putting her on. And she has been checking the property out. Why are you smelling at me? What do I smell like? I ain't had anything to eat. But, yeah, we put her on a GPS collar, and we've been watching her, and she did great the other day. We let her out Saturday. Of course, we walk them, you know, every day that we can, and do the property boundaries and do some training on commands and stuff like that. We work with them all the time. And I'll have to show you guys that whenever we take them out. Probably this afternoon, we'll show you what all they've learned and how well they've come, how far they've come in the last, what, 3 weeks that we've had them? Yeah. They are doing really good. And they're loving it. They're loving it. They're doing really good. You want to sit? Let me show you one real quick. Can you sit for me? Sit. Come here. Sit. Sit. Good girl. Can you shake? Shake. Nice. She's still learning. Shake. Good girl. Shake. Nice. Sometimes she'll pick her foot up and sometimes she'll just put it in the forward. Good girl. Look at Logan back there.
Sit. Come here. Hey. Good girl.
Put her down. She's getting so big.
She is. Look at them.
They are. They're getting big. Getting to be an arm load.
I taught Pepper how to dance with me.
Hey, don't stop on me. Look, Bella.
But that's how you
The puppies are still excited.
A little.
Emma's not going anywhere anytime soon.
They got me on my arm.
Yeah. So they're still learning, but they are doing really good on their commands. We do sit, stay. We're working on down. Obviously, they know the word no. But yeah, I mean, they've been doing really good. I'll give you a sneak peek of Emma's doghouse she built. We told you guys that she was building one in shop, and this was her last project for her sophomore year. So it's made out of 3 pallets around the side, 1 pallet on the bottom. She put a piece of plywood in the bottom for them to lay on. And then we repurposed 10 for the top. We had some left over that we brought with us from the other house. So she repurposed the top. And Bobo loves it. She had the other little house, that one right there. She had that one out here because we gave the puppies the two puppies the big house, so they could both sleep in it. And Bobo really never went in that little house right there. But once Emma brought this home, she was laying there like a big dog, just looking around. She had her paws all up on the edge, and she was just looking around. I was like, she likes this house to be able to see. I think her problem with the other house is she couldn't see, she couldn't patrol, she couldn't monitor. But with this house, it's all open on the front, and she can see now. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the garden tour. and showing you that we've gotten everything already planted, and we just have a couple of things to finish up and we'll have it 100% done.
What was it?
And a little sneak peek in the dogs. But I'll bring you a video of them and how they're doing by itself shortly, probably this afternoon. So anyways, guys, we'll see you later, and thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that like button to let YouTube know you like our videos and we want more coming. Subscribe if you haven't already so we can grow our family, and we will see you on the next one, guys. Bye.